From the Assyrian god carvings, through the church built on the solid rock, to the remnants of Manasseh's reign, here are top 10 very impossible recent biblical archaeology discoveries. If you find this video interesting, please hit the like button and also share with friends on social media. However, if you don't find it interesting, please let me know in the comment section. It will go a long way to help me create better videos for you. Thank you. We begin at number 10. A well-preserved palace. Archaeologists working on a road project in the Jezreel Valley, just west of Afula, unearthed a royal structure that serviced Israelite rulers like Omri and Ahab. The complex is only a half dozen kilometers from Tel Jezreel, where King Ahab built another palace. They discovered a massive pillared structure that was regarded as the best preserved house of Omri architecture ever located in Israel. Food storage jars discovered at the site depict what appears to be a centralized food distribution system. At number 9. Assyrian god carvings. Italian and Kurdish archaeologists uncovered 15-foot rock sculptures depicting an Assyrian ruler and 7 Assyrian gods standing on the backs of sacred animals. The artwork was carved in a relief in a cliff along a canal in Iraq's northern Kurdistan province. Sargon II is supposed to be the king who ruled from 722 to 705 BC and conquered Israel's northern kingdom according to 2 Kings chapter 17 verse 6. The canal where the relief was unearthed was most likely dug by Israelites enslaved by Sargon II. At number 8. A temple to rival Jerusalem. Archaeologists from Tel Aviv University estimate that the temple uncovered near Jerusalem during the construction of Israel's Highway 1 was built around 900 BC. The mother temple is thought to be comparable in size to Solomon's temple, which was erected a half-century earlier and lies only 5 miles to the east. The competing temple was probably used to worship the god who led the Israelites out of Egypt as well as other gods. The discovery was unexpected, but it fits into the Old Testament story of national conflict over where, how, and who to worship. Scholars think some key scriptural texts were composed as defense of Jerusalem-based worship, and 1 Kings recounts how during the same century the northern kingdom of Israel constructed worship centers at Dan and Bethel. Number 7. A church built on a solid rock. A dig in Benias, northern Israel, has found the ruins of a 4th century chapel that was built on top of a shrine to another god, as was customary at the time. Benias was a cultic center dedicated to the god Pan, and the shrine was most likely used for the worship of the Greek god of sex and spring. Christians of the 4th century, on the other hand, would have identified the place as biblical Caesarea Philippi, close to where Peter told Jesus, "You are the Christ." And Jesus responded, "On this rock I will build my church." Matthew chapter 16, verse 18 to 19. One stone in the ruin is marked with cross-etching left by pilgrims who visited the church shortly after Christianity became the official religion of the Roman Empire. Number 6. A 4th ally with King David. In the Golan Heights, archaeologists discovered a fortified building from David's reign around 1000 BC. 2 horned figures with outstretched arms are inscribed in a big basalt stone in the fortress. Archaeologists believe this structure was an outpost of King David's ally, the kingdom of Geshur. Maacah, David's wife and mother of Absalom, was the daughter of Geshur's king. At number 5. Holy smoke residue. A new test on organic remnants on the burnt surface of an 8th century BC altar revealed a residue of marijuana. This is the first evidence cannabis was associated with any form of worship in ancient Israel, and the oldest known ritual use of marijuana to date. The altar was dedicated to the worship of the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The worship center at the desert stronghold of Arad was first excavated in the 1960s. Tests done half a century ago came back inconclusive. However, new tests were done using improved equipment and techniques. A second altar at the site carried traces of frankincense. Number 4. Smithing Gods of Canaan. Joseph Gavinkel, an Israeli archaeologist, discovered the ruins of a Canaanite temple from the 12th century BC. The excavation site, which is near Lachish, one of the region's most important Old Testament cities, has yielded a plethora of Canaanite worship objects, including jewelry, daggers, and two 4-inch tall bronze figurines of smithing gods. A bronze scepter plated in silver is perhaps the most remarkable find at the temple. It was held, according to Gavinkel, by a human-sized statue of the Canaanite god Baal. Although the statue was not discovered, massive statues of ancient Canaanite gods are uncommon. At number 3, a church in the house at Laodicea. Turkish archaeologist Celal Şimşek discovered sacred items used in Christian worship while excavating a house in Laodicea. The peristyle house, built around a central garden or courtyard, was located next to a theater and was likely owned by wealthy people. Paul sent an epistle to the church in Laodicea, which is mentioned in Colossians but appears to be lost. In the book of Revelation, Jesus faults Christians for boasting. I am rich, I have earned prosperity, and do not require anything. But they are actually wretched, miserable, poor, blind, and naked. Revelation chapter 3 verse 17. Despite the fact that Şimşek did not go into detail about the religious artifact he discovered, he concluded that the house with the church will help researchers better understand how Christianity spread in Laodicea since the middle of the 1st century. At number 2, Replica is real, fragments are fake. One of biblical archaeology's major challenges is confirming the authenticity of artifacts they do not personally uncover, such as those sold on the antiquities market. Several important examples of how cutting-edge technology might help emerged this year. For example, a clear seal imprint that had been thought to be counterfeit was proven to be genuine, while a part of the Dead Sea Scrolls that had been thought to be genuine were discovered to be fakes. Yuval Goren of Ben-Gurion University and his colleagues discovered a bulla, or clear seal, representing a roaring lion from the period of Jeroboam II, who ruled from 788 to 748 BC. It was purchased for a little fee at a Bedouin market a few decades ago. At the same time, a company that specializes in detecting art forgeries determined that 16 Dead Sea Scroll fragments in the Museum of the Bible's collection were all modern forgeries. The museum has received acclaim for its comprehensive investigation, and the facts are currently on show as part of a forgery exhibit. There are more than 70 other possibly faked fragments that have been offered to evangelical collectors since 2002. And finally, at number 1, the ruins of Manasseh's reign. The discovery of the ruins of a palace possibly belonging to King Manasseh, the ruler in the 2 Kings chapter 21, who did much evil in the eyes of the Lord, provoking him to anger, and led the people to do more evil than the nations had done, that the Lord destroyed before the people of Israel, dramatically expands archaeologists' understanding of the later kings of Judah's reign. The ruins lie on the Ammon-Henazef promenade, which overlooks the Temple Mount and Jerusalem's old city from the south. During the First Temple period, the Proto-Elian stonework was associated with royal buildings. The edifice originated during Manasseh's 55-year reign as king of the southern kingdom, which he inherited from his father, King Hezekiah. Archaeologists discovered the remnants of a big warehouse a few blocks away, near the newly erected U.S. Embassy. It is thought to have been a centralized food delivery center that also served as a storage facility for agricultural assets. It is dated to the same period. In Ramat Rachel, archaeologists uncovered the ruins of a palace and administrative center a decade ago. This area along the road to Bethlehem was a key focus of activity for the kingdom of Judah's later kings. Which of these discoveries do you find most interesting? Let me know in the comment section. To keep up with the latest discoveries in biblical archaeology, kindly subscribe and enable notifications so you don't miss out on any update. Kindly check the playlist here for more interesting discoveries in biblical archaeology. Thank you very much for watching.